What is up, YouTube? Cranking out some contest videos. I think Joey Brings It is my next one on my list here. He was asking the question, modern or vintage? And things have gotten quite hot. Mike Baseball Collector just burned some cards. And whatever, man. It was kind of a joke, but things are getting pretty serious. And I wanted to do a response mostly because I'm somewhat in the middle of this, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are in the middle of this. So here's the deal with this. So you've got vintage. I kind of look at this in three sections. You've got vintage, okay? So how we describe vintage, we could probably argue a little bit on that, but it's pretty much anything before 1980. Let's call it that, okay? Just for discussion purposes. Then you get this whole junk wax era, okay? And we can kind of argue where that stopped, but somewhere in the 90s. And then you've got kind of this what we call modern, and I think there's a blurred line there too. Is 98 modern? Is 2000 modern? I don't know where we end that discussion. But let's, for all intents and purposes, call whatever 2020 is modern. Okay. Probably anything after 2010, this Mike Trout deal, right? Things start getting crazy and modern. I don't know. New. I don't know if I'd call that new. Anyway, so generally we put the split as before 80 vintage and after 80 modern, but I think it's a lot more blurry than that. And the point I'm trying to make here is that there's a lot of us, and I'd say, I don't know. I guess I'd say the majority of us were kids in the 80s that are collecting. I mean, there's some older folks out there, but there's a lot of folks that are stuck in this junk wax era that are coming back into the hobby that don't necessarily identify with vintage or new 100%. It's just kind of like we just like cards. This is where I'm at. So when I got back into it, I was all junk wax. That's just the nostalgia of it was awesome. And then I decided, hey, this is kind of a cool hobby to get back into. I want to dip my toes, and I bought some new stuff. So this is 2018 basically was the new stuff that I was buying. Did that for a while, and there's some really cool stuff in there. I mean, it was just cool, not for an investment purpose or whatever. It was just cool because I'm collecting just to collect. And then I started looking back and said, man, I don't have anything really before 1980. Really, I didn't have anything before 1985 until I started this 81 Fleer set that's going to kill me. And it was like, wow, vintage is cool. So there seems to be this line drawn in the sand with a lot of people that have been collecting for a while. And I think this is what happens. You start out really wide, and then you start focusing and finding things that you like. But what's happening here is there's still a lot of people that are still wide. And I consider myself one of them. I'm not sure if I'd ever get out of it because I like a little bit of the modern and I like a little bit of the vintage. So, and these are just cards sitting on my table here that I need to sort out. But so here's vintage. This is Pumpsie Green, first African American that the Red Sox got on the team. It's his rookie cup card. I just picked this up. I don't know. There's a video on it a couple months ago or whatever. Time flies. Okay. And I just picked this one up. Never had a Don Mattingly rookie, so I picked this one up a couple months ago. Okay, so we've got vintage and we've got what I consider junk wax. I mean, it's a Don Mattingly rookie. That's not junk wax. It's not junk, it's wax. And the other day I just opened up some cards and I got this. Interestingly enough, here we are in, this is 19, right? And we're making cards that are from the junk wax era. So modern copying junk wax. Okay, we have archives. Do I have archives? I don't think I have any. Oops, good thing Donnie's in a top loader. I don't have any archives sitting. We have modern cards that are replicating vintage. So it's a blurry line here, and I'm just going to put these here so I don't have to keep holding them. There's Pumpsie. Let's put them up there. Well, let's get them in order. So the line is being blurred in that we're just collecting cards. The quality of the modern cards, I think, is much better. Just the print quality. So that's cool. The vintage is just cool because it's nostalgic. It's just, and there's not a lot of it out there, but it's expensive. If you're on a limited budget, you can't do much vintage. I mean, I've been trying to do a little vintage and I just can't. So the answer to the question is not as clear to me. I mean, it's very, very clear to somebody that does either or. If you're a breaker and you're doing modern and or you're younger, generally you're going to go to modern. If you've been collecting for 30 or 40 years, just by definition, that's the things that you grew up with or whatever, you like the older stuff. That's not to say that either can't go back or forward or whatever. So to me, the answer is, pretty difficult because as a collector of sports cards, I just like it all. That's my problem, to be honest with you. I've been trying to figure out how the heck to focus, and I just can't because it's just all awesome. And that's the beauty of this, and it's the beauty of the YouTube community because everybody's sharing all kinds of cool stuff. And it doesn't have to be modern or vintage. So I'm gonna answer it like this before this video gets too long. If you're looking for a long-term investment, if you're just looking to invest, vintage. Sorry, geez. If you're looking for excitement and the thrill, kind of like scratch tickets or the lottery, and you're trying to find something really big like a $5,000 refractor auto or whatever, then you go new modern stuff. That's kind of the base answer. But if you're a collector, man, collect what you like. Collect a little bit of everything. Collect whatever team you want, whatever player you want, and share it around. And do it all. So I guess I don't have a definitive answer. I just collect what you like. You like modern, go modern. You like vintage, go vintage. For me, it's everything. And until I get that addiction straightened out, it's going to be everything. So, hey, Joey, great channel. Keep up the content, man. You really hit a nerve on this one. I guess it's creating quite a bit of content, so that's a plus. But hey, keep collecting, folks. Either way, whatever you like. I got my crazies upstairs yelling and screaming, so I better stop this video here. If you guys are collecting anything, collect whatever you want. If you're opening it, best of luck to you. Don't forget to collect to connect. It's the people in the hobby that are the best part of it. And have an awesome day.